If you think generating revenue without streaming is hard, it's not. It's so simple that you're missing the point every day. We're all in the same boat. Streaming is a tool more than a lucrative opportunity, and I'm going to give you 3 fan behavior types that you need to sell directly to in order to monetize your fan base without streaming. Currently, you're probably developing your plan to jump on a direct-to-consumer wave, and I'm going to say congratulations on your mindset shift. You've made it. However, as soon as you made the shift, you probably said, well, I'm going to sell my album digitally and that's it. But that's the wrong answer, because people don't buy digital albums alone because they love you. No, they buy them because they're saying, oh, I want them to win. Let me support them. So they buy them to support your journey. Now, you get paid, but what about them? What do they really want? You're missing out on the reciprocal relationship that this potential artist to fan connection could be. That's why if you've already sold some D2C albums, it may have been unfulfilling for both sides. Not enough money for you and not enough substance for them. I came to this conclusion on 2 fronts. One, when I bought Pocket Queen's new EP on Even and loved it, right? I did. I listened to the EP. The EP was amazing. She put her foot in it. I was in supporter mode, but as a music fan, I kind of wanted more. And there is proof of this expression in my Music Moneymakers community because I recorded the live buying process and posted it just so they could see what it was like from a fan's perspective. Second realization was that I was at a live single release party with a good friend, Kennedy Ryan, and she shouted me out as well as others inside. And it made me feel some type of way. And I'll explain what that emotion was in a bit. So there are 2 feelings, one of unfulfilled desire and one of fulfilled desire. It was at this moment that I realized I felt acknowledged in one aspect, but was unfulfilled in the payoff expected in the other aspect. So let me break it down, because you're going to need to understand this if you want to monetize without streaming. This is just a given. Grand fan rule number 1 is fans want access. Most people think fans want the show, and don't get me wrong, they do, but the reality of a new artist being able to afford to put on shows consistently early in their careers, it's a tough feat, especially if they don't have the pull, favors, and money to do it. That milestone takes time. Fans come to the show because they truly want access. So therefore, you can start monetizing without streaming or a live show through private digital spaces and early access and unreleased content and virtual and in-person interactions and exclusive events and in real life experiences. Many times when you have these in-person interactions, listening parties and intimate acoustic shows and meet and greets, this is all that they really want, access to you. Implementing this into your monetizing process as you grow will be key to your survival in this music game. Fans want access, give it to them. But grand fan rule number 2 is fans want to feel acknowledged. If you're an artist, yes, you want to feel acknowledged for your work as an artist, but your fans are people too. And they want to feel acknowledged that you see them supporting you as they are a part of your army. Right? This is what Kennedy Ryan did for me. The thing about acknowledgement is it's a basic human desire that kind of feeds the ego, but also makes you feel at ease when there's enough acknowledgement given to you. So you can start monetizing your acknowledgement in these ways. Personalized shout outs, which is, come on, gifts, recognition in public and digital spaces, which is what happened to me, and engagement and fan contributions, right? If you apply these aspects to your monetization strategy, it will get you more word of mouth than ever before, because you made that fan feel seen. And that's all it is, and that's what it's all about. They just want to feel seen that they're your fan. But grand fan rule number 3 is fans want to feel achieved. Now this one may seem a little confusing, but let me break it down. If by this point you still think fans want a product, they don't. They only want their desires fulfilled. And for me, this is what I wanted with Pocket Queen. I wanted to feel like I was a part of the creation process with more in-depth behind the scenes information and footage and fun facts about the album creation process. I would have paid more for this footage, right? This gives me more information to share when someone asks me about new music or when it's prime time in a conversation to mention her. This is how word of mouth is created, with information. Even though that's part of feeling achieved with additional information, you can also sell that feeling to fans with interactive fan challenges and leaderboards that reward them for being a part of your process, right? Participation in creative projects, milestone-based perks, co-creation opportunities, and meet and greet tiers. Again, as the artists, we're selling feelings to our fans in addition to the music. So by making them feel achieved, these fans feel the most special of all three fan type behaviors. Now, here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to make these experiences free, especially if you have great talent, because then fans won't see you as important in their eyes. They also won't see that you value yourself and what you create. Also, you've got to think, if they value you, then why would you devalue yourself? Remember, fans want to pay you for the feelings of access, acknowledgement, and achievement. And in fact, they already expect to pay you for it. So don't put everybody into one pot. If you do that, then you do what I call cannibalizing your fan base. And people who want to be VIP end up in the same category as general admission. Just like people who want to fly first class don't want to be in the back with the coach flyers. Doing this is a recipe for failure. Don't do this. If anything, as fan culture and behavior is shifting to a place where they expect these offerings to be there for them, prepare your offerings so you can get the money needed to fund your career from the inside. This is where the industry is headed. And the cool thing is, I don't see this as a place of oversaturation, because it takes a while for a person to become a diehard fan enough to pay you more than once, right? So in a sense, this is an achievement process for you as well to build your tribe. There is a sense of gamification at play here. And not only is it exciting to create music and put it out, it's exciting to create and cultivate a culture and feed it ultimately to change the culture of music at large. Start with building an email list first so you can test your consistency with your potential fans, and then move into a subscription-based product that works for you. You'll be glad you started this way. And even if you don't start at this point, then at least consistently comment on your fans' comments underneath your social media posts. So in every moment, you have a choice to move forward. But the one thing you can't do is sit on the fence, right? It's just which side of the fence will you hop down on? The side where you keep things the same, or the side where you just push forward, right? Even if it's just an inch by an inch, at least you're moving forward. Because the real question isn't, should you do this? It's how much longer can you afford not to build a fan culture for your fans and for your pockets? Ask yourself that. Now, we talk about strategies like this all the time in the Music Money Makers community on select Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, during the live sessions, and during our weekly Q&A call on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join the Music Money Makers crew so you don't have to do this alone. Selling to different fan types isn't the real challenge here. The issue is not having a clear strategy for engaging them, right? The beauty of these fan types is that they're based on fundamental human desires that will never change. So you can bet on them all the time. Now, when you understand and cater to these core needs, access, acknowledgement, and achievement, you're tapping into proven psychological principles that work across all audiences, even if you're just starting out, right? You can begin with simple, authentic interactions based on these core human desires that make your fans feel valued. But here's the reality of it all. Implementing fan engagement strategies doesn't require huge chunks of time. You can start with just 15 to 30 minutes a day, focusing on one fan type at a time. The key is consistency over intensity. Serve your customers with great customer service, because ignoring your fans' needs can lead to devastating consequences for your music career. So first, you'll miss out on building genuine connections that could turn casual listeners into dedicated supporters willing to invest in your journey. And without cultivating these relationships, you'll struggle to create sustainable income streams beyond streaming, right? Leaving potential revenue and growth opportunities untapped. But most importantly, you risk losing the very people who could become your most powerful advocates. and word of mouth marketers. But at the end of the day, if you were struggling with monetizing your fan base without streaming, then you now know the human behaviors, access, acknowledgement, and achievement to target in order to scale your fan culture quickly. Music Money Makers, if you make music, you should always make money. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com and grab the 60-day record label course. Jump into the Music Money Makers community. Beneath this video, grab the free stuff, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.